into the thinking chair. After a day of labor, cheese and crackers, my sister kept on calling me to help her with air conditioners, and as stated, I'll do anything for my sister because I love her. Like, heave air conditioners up from the basement onto the second floor, and like partake with her in 75 hard. Which one of my challenges for the 75 hard is creating a video, like every day for 75 days, because this is something that I am not consistent with, and I find this hard. Yesterday, we talked about things. We did talk about things yesterday. Oh, we talked about when I realized that I wanted to be an author, and specifically a self-published author. Um, and today we're going to get into how I managed to write my debut novel in just 20 days. I often refer to this time as like a possession almost, because it's should be dang near impossible. But when it comes to writing for Dante and Major, the main characters in my Blue Light series, I don't know. There's just something about them that makes me just sprint. But that first time, I was in the bathroom doing my hair, and as one does listening to music, I put a lot of trust into Amazon Music, and I just let things play at random because I'm always looking for new songs, right? So, music playing at random, very chill girl vibes. I'm doing my hair. Don't need to be rocking out and headbanging. But the song comes on, and immediately I start like envisioning the story. These two boys and this friendship that they shared, and this life that they had where they were just trying and trying and trying to hold on to this innocence that they had to let go of, that life forced them to let go of. And I seen them running. I didn't know if they were running towards something or away from something, but they ran, and the song ended, and I continued to go about doing my hair because my fingers are like covered in grease and everything. And I made a note to myself, like, oh, hey, remember the song? Go back and like write about this later. And guess what I did? I did not do that. I did not do that at all. Completely forgot about it. So, days later, I feel like it was probably like almost a week later. I was on winter break. I'm a teacher. But days later, I'm sleeping, as one does. And out of nowhere, I'm not sleeping anymore because my eyes are wide awake and it's 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, wait, what was that song? And I didn't know. I didn't remember looking at the name of the song nor looking at the artist who sang it. I just, I didn't even remember any lyrics. I just remembered vibes. So I went to Google with minimum information. Absolutely nothing. I don't know how Google managed to help me, but thank you, internet, because I was typing things into the search bar like song, police sirens, songs with police sirens, songs with boys running, songs with boys running from police. I had nothing at all. So I was trying everything, and eventually everything led me to Blue Lights. by Georgia Smith. And I promptly saved the song and then tried to return to sleep. Emphasis on the word try because I did not go back to sleep. So around 5 o'clock in the morning, I got up, I grabbed a fresh notebook and a pen. Human body was human being. Sorry. Anyways, so grabbed a fresh notebook, grabbed a pen, sat on my couch, and started writing. And what I typically do when I start outlining a book, especially a brand new book, is on those first like couple pages of a notebook, I typically outline by hand. On those first couple pages of the notebook, I just start spitting out everything that I got. Not scenes per se, but like information about the characters, the kind of vibes that I'm going for, things of that nature. So I'm just like writing down a bunch of randomness about these characters, and then I was like, okay, I got the idea down. I can stop. I cannot stop. For the rest of that day, I wrote by hand. Hand crampy? Yes. Did that matter? No. I had to keep going. So, all day, up until the night, I wrote until I had to go to sleep. Then I got up the next morning. And guess what I did? I picked up that notebook again and I started writing. I was outlining each chapter. And in those 2 days, I went from having nothing to having the outline for the entire novel. I also emptied a pen and had to go to a second pen because I would not stop writing because I don't know why. Again, possession. Like, writer's block ain't got nothing on me. I got a writer can't stop. Cheese and crackers. Anyways, so 2 days, outline completed. And I'm like, so, okay, I wrote the outline. I can sit with this. I can take a break now. I can stop. No, absolutely not. It was still plenty of time left in the second day. It was maybe late afternoon. So I set the notebook down. I picked up my laptop. I thought I was going to play some Sims and binge watch a show because that is what winter break is for. As a teacher, like that's what you do on break. You play Sims and binge watch shows. Actually, sounds pretty nice right now. Anyways, actually, I'm going to write after this more stuff on Dante Major, the third book. But picked up the laptop and instead of loading up the Sims, what did I do? I opened Scrivener and I started writing. Went to bed late that night. Woke up early the next day. And guess what? Directly to the computer. Continued writing. I had trouble eating around this time because eating food required me to take my hands away from the keyboard, and for some reason the keyboard was a steel plate and my hands were magnets and I couldn't pull myself away. The story it came out of me so fast, so naturally that I don't know, I questioned everything. Why? Surely I understood that this was not my first novel that I've written. This was actually my fourth, fifth novel that I've written. I've written 4 novels before Blue Lights. And no, they did not take me 20 days to write. But I did understand that I got quicker with time, with practice. But also I understood that, like, This can't be any good. Then when it turned out to be good, it turned out to be really good, and I had to do something with it. Blue Lights is a story that I genuinely love. Like, as a reader, I go back and read Blue Lights, not just because I have to like go look for continuity when it comes to writing like later on books and things of that nature. I genuinely just am a fan. I feel like Blue Lights brings something to the table that a lot of books kind of miss the bar on. I don't know. It's like representation exists, yes, but I feel like representation is not always broad enough. Like we have stories with black characters in it, but we don't really get like a lot of stories with black characters who are okay. With stories that don't rely on the trauma. Like we see our characters suffer brutal things, all for the sake of telling a story. And I didn't want to create like this fluffy story that ignores all the problems of our world, but I wanted to show that there's things to live for. There is joy. Us, us as black people, one thing we know how to do is laugh through the pain. I joke terribly, but I joke that like you get some of the best, most memorable laughs at a funeral. We understand how to smile even when you're hurt, how to comfort other people, and how to keep on keeping on. You need that joy to make life even worth living. And when I was writing Blue Lights, that joy was the key component. I wanted people to fall in love with a version of the character when he was at his best and not just pity him when he's at his worst. This was like, again, I would say like a big decision in making the main character, the narrator, who he was, Dante, when we know that the best friend, Major, is the actual main character. A lot of like thought kind of went into that. I wanted to, let me just list out inspirations first. First off, Blue Lights, not Blue Lights, Moonlight, the movie Moonlight. Big inspiration for this. I wanted vibes, environment to feel kind of like Moonlight. Um, and one of my favorite books is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. And with that, how the most interesting people are not the main character. Charlie, he has things going on. Yes, obviously we're all human, we all have things going on, but him as our narrator, as the one who's paying witness to everything, as our wallflower, we get to see the lives of everyone else and we get to see them not at their worst, but as who they are. I wanted something that was similar to that, to A Separate Piece, to The Great Gatsby, where the main character is someone that the narrator watches closely, but not the narrator themselves. And so we have the two, Dante and Major, and they balance each other well. throughout the entire series. Dante experiences, like, not just in Blue Lights, but throughout the series, experiences a lot more internal conflict, while Major experiences a lot more external conflict. I think it makes for a very compelling form of storytelling that really draws people in, because you get the chance of seeing that action, but you also get the internal conflict that really keeps you holding on. See, I know things. But going on with the broad representation. So within the black community, seeing characters at their best, seeing a character like Dante. My sister is calling me. I'm gonna pause. And I'm back. Had to deal with some phone fiascos. Someone stole my niece's phone, and she needs some money to get a new one. So she owes me a hairstyle. But yeah. So Dante's family. Dante has a mom and a dad. They're married. Yes, both biological parents. They own their house. They are doing okay. They're not like rich. I feel like whenever we see a black family that is doing well, they're doing well. And we don't really get to see that like average, like lower middle class, where like we doing we eating off brand cereal. No, you can't have the most expensive things, but you hardly want for things, and you have everything that you need. And there is, if we try, there is enough to spare. I grew up in a family similar to that. And whenever I would read black literature, I never seen that. I would always see families who were in extreme poverty, families who were struggling really hard, single parent households. Or, like I said, the exact opposite spectrum, where you have like this filthy rich family, and you never really got the chance to see like just the ones who are doing okay. So Dante came in with, and I was not surprised, but surprised at how many people related to him and his family structure and the way that he thinks. And it was just important. And then when it comes to being a part of the LGBTQ plus, happy Pride Month, it's June, woo. um I feel like there's not a lot of representation for mass presenting, like non-feminine gay men. And it seems like every couple has to have like a feminine one. Actually, a student of mine just wrote a great paper that brought up this point. um Maybe I'll share that with you guys. But there's always been like, and I see this among students a lot. I work in a school that's majority black students, so I've seen with my own eyes a student, black male, gay. He'll come out, he'll be hyper feminine, and then as like the years go on, he'll pull back on a lot of that, not because it's being like forced out of him, but because he realizes that like I don't have to follow that in order to be who I am, because they weren't always comfortable in the hyper feminine. But when you watch like a lot of things in media, it seems like a lot of the black gay males that are presented in media are the hyper feminine, and they feel like they have to abide by these stereotypes, and it takes them a while to see that they don't. If that is how you feel and that is how you want to represent yourself, then that's perfectly okay. But I feel like it needs to be like a little bit more representation of not the hyper feminine. And Dante Major comes in with that, and there's been people who have connected in that realm as well, where I've had students who were a part of the LGBT community connect with that matter of like some yes, like everyone still tries to categorize things as boy girl, and it doesn't need to be that way. Like it's just two human beings being together. It ain't that deep. We don't gotta hyper analyze everything. They're together. Moving on. And that was a big thing too, with like making sure the conflict of the story was not their sexuality. The conflict of the story was Major's life. And the story, even without the romance, without the relationship blooming, the story would still stand. But I'll get into that on another day. We can wrap this up. Um, I'm RV Allister, author of Blue Lights and A Little Broken and everything else that comes with Blue Lights. Um, yeah, I'm about to go right. Like, subscribe. I'm going to be doing this for like the next 75 days, just popping on here and chit chatting because I need to get used to being on camera and being consistent. So, hi, bye, enjoy your day.